Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bhagavati Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Bhagavati Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Bhagavati Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Bhagavati Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Muspa Paramahansa Paribhajagacharya Siddhare Srismada Pridhanta Saraswati Goswami Bhagavad Ki Jai Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakti Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Bhog Gopinath Sam Khund Radha Khund Girivardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai की जाए जमुना माई की जाए गुरु द्वारका धाम की जाए स्वामी तो भक्तविंद की जाए और ग्लोरी टू द और ग्लोरी टू द थैंक यू वेरी मच
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to the Hare Krishna Africa platform. Thank you very much for honoring the invitation. We're very grateful and happy to meet you. So, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today, we have our revered senior brother, uncle, who is going to be speaking with us. His Grace SRIVAS VANACHARI Prabhu does not need an introduction, especially because he's our own. So, Prabhu, you're welcome once again. And if you're ready, we'll put the verse on the screen and you can continue.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to render the service so we can start.
Okay.
Narayana Namaskritya Narashaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayat. Nastaprayesu abhadresu nityam bhagavatam sevaya bhagavati uttamasloke bhakti bhavati naistiki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 15, entitled Description of the Kingdom of God. And today we are treating text 46, which is on the screen. Kumara uchu yo interhito hirido gato pi duratmanam tvam so jaiva no nayana mulam anantaradaha yari iva karna vivarena guham gatona pitra nuvarnita raha bhavat udbhavina kumara uchur yo intarihito hiridigato pi duratmanam tvam so jaivano nayanam mulam anantaradaha yari iva karna vivarena guham gatonaha pitra nuvanita raha bhavat udbhavena kumara uchu yo intarihito hiridigato pi duratmanam tvam so jaiva no nayana mulam anantaradaha yari iva karna vivarena guham gatonaha pitranu varnita radha bhavat ubhavena. Word for word translation. Kumara Uchu, the Kumara said, Yaha, he who, Antarihitaha, not manifested, Hiridi, in the heart, Gataha, is seated, Api, even though, Durat Manam, to the rascals, Tvam, you, Saha, he, Adya, today, Eva, certainly, Naha, of us, Nayana Mulam, face to face, Anantaha, O unlimited one, Radha, attained, Yarihi, when, Eva, certainly, Karna Vivarena, through the ears, Guham, intelligence, Gata, have attained, Naha, our, Petra, by our father, Anuvarnita, described, Raha, mistress, Bhavat, Ubhavena, by your appearance. Translation. The Kumara said, Our dear Lord, you are not manifested to rascals, even though you are seated within the heart of everyone. But as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face, although you are unlimited. The statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your appearance. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Purport. The so-called yogis who concentrate their minds or meditate upon the impersonal or void are described here. This verse of Srimad Bhagavatam describes persons who are expected to be very expert yogis engaged in meditation, but who do not find the Supreme Personality of Godhead seated within the heart. These persons are described here as Duratma, which means a person who has a very crooked heart or a less intelligent person, just opposite to a Mahatma, which means one who has a broad heart. Those so-called yogis who, although engaged in meditation, are not broad-hearted, cannot find a four-handed Narayan form, even though he is seated within their heart. Although the first realization of the Supreme Absolute Truth is impersonal Brahman, one should not remain satisfied with experiencing the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Lord. In the Ishopanishad also, the devotee prays that the glaring effulgence of Brahman may be removed from his eyes so that he can see the real personal feature of the Lord and thus satisfy himself fully. Similarly, although the Lord is not visible in the beginning because of his glaring bodily effulgence, if a devotee sincerely wants to see him, the Lord is revealed to him. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that the Lord cannot be seen by our imperfect eyes. He cannot be heard by our imperfect ears. He cannot be experienced by our imperfect senses. But that if one engages in devotional service with faith and devotion, then God reveals himself. Here the four Kumaras, Sanat Kumara, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanaka, are described as actually sincere devotees. Although they had heard from their father Brahma about the personal feature of the Lord, only the impersonal feature, Brahman, was revealed to them. But because they were sincerely searching for the Lord, they finally saw his personal feature directly, which corresponded with the description given by their father. They thus became fully satisfied. Here they expressed their gratitude because although they were foolish impersonalists in the beginning, by the grace of the Lord, they could now have the good fortune to see his personal feature. Another significant aspect of this verse is that the sages describe the experience of hearing from their father, Brahma, who was born of the Lord directly. In other words, the disciplic succession from the Lord to Brahma, and from Brahma to Narada, and from Narada to Vyasa, and so on, is accepted here. Because the Kumaras were sons of Brahma, they had the opportunity to learn Vedic knowledge from the disciplic succession of Brahma, and therefore, in spite of their impersonalist beginnings, they became, in the end, direct seers of the personal future of the Lord. Om Jnana Timridasya Jnanan Jnanasalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunastam Vitam Tam Sanjivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Ashri Tatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tetare Iti Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvese Sashunyavadi Pasachade Satarini Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Gauratvize Namaha Nityanando Vatutendo Vasuda Pranavalabhar Janavir Jivita Patir Krishna Prema Pradaprabhu Padmavati Sutta Srimam Sachirananda Purvajaha Bhavom Mata Jagat Rakta Rakta Gora Kele Varaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankaja Nabaya Nama Pankaja Maline Nama Pankaja Nitraya Namaste Pankaja Graye He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jayatam Sarato Pangor Mama Madergatima Sarvaswa Padambu Radha Madana Mohano Divyar Vindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Radhadgara Simhastanastau Srila Govinda Devo Pristya Libi Sevya Manusmarami Shrimam Rasa Rasaram Bivam Sivata Tatastita Karasan Venusvanai Gopi Gopinata Sriye Stunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Bindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Devi Krishnamai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarvam Kanti Samohini Paraha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation again. The Kumara said, Our dear Lord, you are not manifest to rascals. You are not manifested to rascals, even though you are seated within the heart of everyone. But as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face, although you are unlimited. The statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your kind appearance. Bukam karoti vachalam pangum lagayete grim yat kripatamahan vande Shri Guru Dina Taradam Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Akanda Mandalakaram Vyaptaina Characharam Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So everyone is welcome to this class, Srimad Bhagavatam class. And we before we proceed to say anything or say something that is beneficial for our spiritual progress and maybe also beneficial for the audience, because without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, without the mercy of the Lord and his devotees, it is practically impossible to speak transcendental knowledge. So therefore we seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas who are present in this class, as well as we seek the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that we can say something which is relevant for our spiritual progress. So the Kumaras, they have found their way into the Vaikuntha planets. All along, their realization is the Brahman, Brahmanjoti, the effulgence from the body of the Lord. All along, that is their realization. That is what was revealed to them. But somehow or the other, because they have such a great father like Brahma, Brahma has narrated the glories of the Lord, the form of the Lord, to their hearing. And so when they came face to face with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when they entered the Vaikuntha planets and they saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they were satisfied. They were happy. And so the Lord can be seen face to face by the devotees. That is a fact. The devotees, because of their relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna reveals himself to the devotees. But for the impersonalists, for the jnanis and the karmis, Krishna does not reveal himself because they have no relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though the Lord is resident or situated in the heart of the living entity, Sarvasya Chaham Hiridesani Vishto Mata Smriti Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Krishna is telling us in Bhagavad Gita that he is seated in the core of the heart of every living entity. So even though Krishna is seated there, but to realize him is a different subject matter altogether. So the Lord is residing in the heart of the living entity. The Lord is our eternal friend. He's our eternal companion, eternal advisor, counselor. Yet we have no access to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have no access. In fact, because we have no access to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, people have different notions about the Lord. Some say the Lord is impersonal. He has no form, nirakar. Some even say there is no God. So different people have different views about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the experience of these Chatusanas, the four celibate sons of Brahma, the four Kumaras, is giving us evidence that God is there. There is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can be seen, he can be talked to, one can relate to him. Similarly, Dhruva Maharaj, a 5-year-old boy, also had an opportunity to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Tad Harshanen Gata Sadavasa Shitao Avandangandam Vinamaya Dandavat Drigyam Papasham Prabitam Avat Bhattas Chumbam Ivashena Bujai Ivalisham. Dhruva Maharaj left home in search of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he performed such great austerities that within 6 months, the Lord appeared before Dhruva Maharaj. It is mentioned that when Dhruva Maharaj saw the Supreme Personality of God standing before him, he was greatly agitated and immediately offered him obeisances and respects. He fell flat before him like a rock and became absorbed in love of Godhead. Dhruva Maharaj, in ecstasy, looked upon the Lord as if he were drinking the Lord with his eyes, kissing his lotus feet with his mouth, and embracing the Lord with his arms. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not a fantasy. The form of the Lord is not imaginary. Krishna is there, just as we are here. Krishna is in the spiritual world. that is described as the kingdom of God. The material world is the kingdom of the conditioned souls. But the spiritual world is the kingdom of God, where God displays all his opulences in full. So that supreme personality of Godhead cannot be seen by our imperfect eyes. He cannot be heard by our imperfect ears. He cannot be experienced by our imperfect senses. Only those who engage in devotional service with faith and devotion, then the Lord reveals himself to such devotees. So it is a fact that Krishna is there. It is a fact that one can realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead if we receive the process of meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we receive the process, the bona fide process, and we follow it strictly, certainly we would see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Dhruva Maharaj decided to go to the forest to meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mother told him, because he wanted a kingdom greater than that of his father and grandfather. So Suruchi, as the mother of Dhruva, told him that there is nobody in this world who can give you a kingdom greater than that of your father and your grandfather. The only person who can do that is Lord Vishnu. And so Dhruva Maharaj asked the mother, where can I find Lord Vishnu? And the innocent woman said, normally the sages, they go to the forest to meditate. And in their meditation in the forest, they're able to attract the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I believe that if you also go to the forest and begin to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will appear before you. So when Dhruva heard this from his mother, he did not waste time. Immediately, he started for the forest. At that time, news have spread far and wide that Dhruva Maharaj, being offended by his stepmother, was going to the forest to perform meditation at a very tender age of 5. So Narada Muni intercepted Dhruva's journey. And Narada Muni tried to discourage Dhruva from going further to undertake the process of meditation. Narada Muni told Dhruva, Ato nivatatam esha nirbandastava nishplaha. He said, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. You will not be successful. It is better that you go back home, and when you are grown up, by the mercy of the Lord, you will get a chance to practice this mysticism of finding God. At that time, you may not execute this process of meditation in order to find God. But at this time, you are too tender, you are too young to go into the forest by yourself to perform such severe austerities, meditating on the Supreme Lord. I don't subscribe to that. I don't recommend that for you. But Dhruva was very determined. Dhruva was not to be discouraged. He was completely fixed on his purpose. What he wanted is to meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so Dhruva told Narada that, my dear Narada, if you want to help me to achieve my goal of meeting Lord Vishnu, please help me. But if you are not ready to help me to find the goal of my life, to fulfill my objective, then please leave me alone. Of course, the Acharyas say that Narada Muni, being the spiritual master of Dhruva Maharaj, his responsibility was to test the sincerity of his disciple. And the proof is when Dhruva Maharaj emphatically told Narada that I'm not going back home, I am going forward, and I'm going to perform the austerities, I'm going to meditate on the Supreme Lord. I want to meet the Supreme Lord, and nothing will deter me, nothing will stop me. Narada understood that Dhruva Maharaj was very determined to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he gave him a mantra, and he showed him where he should go and perform the meditation. And he gave him instructions what to do in performing the meditations. He told him to go to Madhuvan in Vrindavan, and he gave him the 16-syllable mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and showed him what to do. And Dhruva Maharaj took off and performed the austerities, followed the instructions, chanted the mantras, and within 6 months, the Lord appeared before Dhruva Maharaj. So the Lord can be seen. It is not that he cannot be seen. He can be seen face to face if one is ready, if one is qualified. The Bible tells us that blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they shall have the vision of the Lord. They shall see God. So there must be a qualification. Even to see the president of a country is not that easy. You have to have some qualification. You must have some contacts. You must have a serious business to discuss with the president before the secretary will schedule you to meet him. If you have no serious business, you have no serious discussion to have, you will not be allowed to meet the president. What to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So the process for realizing the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Bhakti Yoga. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. If one is in a very exalted position and he does not perform Bhagavad Bhakti, devotional service, his life is useless. If one has taken birth as a human being and one does not engage in bhakti, his birth as a human being is useless. Drulabo manasho deho, dehinam shana bangura. The purpose of this human form of life is to perform bhakti yoga. Because by performing bhakti yoga, we can draw the attention of Krishna. Bhakti yoga is the only yoga that attracts Krishna's attention. Any other form of yoga is not attractive to Krishna. So devotional service is what is satisfying to Krishna. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha. Devotional service rendered for the satisfaction of Krishna is very powerful. It purifies the performer, it satisfies the performer, and it reveals the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the result for performing bhakti. Millions of yogis, millions of worshippers of different grades are trying without any success to have a glimpse of the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But it is not that easy. The Gyanis are not having it easy. The yogis are not having it easy. What to speak of the ordinary worshippers, the church goers and the temple goers and the mosque goers. They just go with no aim. Or at best, they have some material request to make. Such an approach cannot reveal the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, expert yogis engage in meditation who cannot find the Supreme Personality of Godhead seated within their hearts are described as duradma. Why can't they find the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Nayam sukapo bhagavan dehinam gopika sutaha Jnaninam chadma bhutanam yata bhakti matam iha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible to devotees engaged in spontaneous devotional service, but is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities and penances, or to those who consider the body to be the same as the self. So in order to attract the attention of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that the Lord may reveal his identity, may reveal his form, Bhakti Yoga is recommended. Srila Prabhupada mentions that one should not remain satisfied with experiencing the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Lord. One should go beyond that. Brahmananda haite purnananda lila rasa Brahma Gyani Akarshayi Kare Atma Vashaha. The mellows of Lord Sri Krishna's pastimes, which are full of bliss, attract even the Gyanis from the pleasure of Brahman realization. So even the Gyanis who are spending several years in trying to speculate about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if somehow they come in touch with the mellows of Krishna's pastimes, if somehow they hear the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes, they become attracted. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, there is a comparative statement. Brahmananam saheshribhya shatraya jivishishyate shatraya jishishishrbhya sarva vidanta paragaha sarva vidanta vitkotya Vishnu bhakto vivishyate Vaishnavam sahasribhya ekanti eko vishishyate. A Brahmana qualified to offer sacrifices is better than an ordinary Brahmana. Better than such a Brahmana is one who has studied all the Vedic literatures. Among many such Brahmanas, one who is a devotee of Lord Vishnu is the best. And among such Vaishnavas, one who fully engages in devotional service at the lotus feet of the Lord is the topmost. So, even in devotional service, there are categories. It is not that because we've all accepted initiation, we are the same. It is not because we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are the same. No. According to our level of sincerity, according to our level of devotion, Krishna reciprocates differently. We are all chanting the Maha Mantra, but we are not getting the same results for chanting. For some people, the Maha Mantra is so sweet. They can never stop chanting the Maha Mantra. But it's not the case for everyone. Some people are struggling to finish 60 rounds a day. They're struggling. But for some people, it is a sweet performance. It's a sweet activity. They are always yearning to chant. And the least opportunity, they pick up their beads because they know that this activity is satisfying to the Lord and is purifying my heart and bringing me closer and closer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one should not be satisfied with a Brahman realization. Neither should one be satisfied of becoming a Brahmana. Neither should one be satisfied for becoming a scholar in the study of the scriptures. We must go beyond all that to experience the presence of the Lord. The Kumaras, they are seeing Lord Vishnu face to face. Dhruva Maharaj, he is seeing Lord Vishnu face to face. Gajendra, he is seeing Lord Vishnu face to face. And many, many other instances, they are seeing the Lord face to face. So that means it is possible to see the Lord. But we have to see the Lord with purified senses. The Lord cannot be perceived by our imperfect senses. If one engages in devotional service with faith and devotion, then Krishna reveals himself. And that is why the statement from the Bhakta Rasamrita Sindhu, the Nectar of Devotion, says, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Griyam Indriyai Savom Moke Hi Jivado Swayam Eva Suparati Adha. That when the senses are purified, when our contaminated senses are purified, by engaging them in the service of the Lord, beginning with the tongue, Jivado, Savom Muke Jivado, then it becomes possible to see the Lord. It becomes possible for the Lord to reveal himself. Actually, why are we engaging in devotional service? That is a question every devotee has to ask himself. Why have I embarked on this path of bhakti? Is it because people are doing it? I also want to do it. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj used to say that every day we have to rejoin ISKCON by asking ourselves, why have I joined this movement? What am I doing in this movement? And so, by searching our hearts, searching our minds, examining our goals, our purpose for joining this movement, we can always redirect our efforts towards that goal, Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has given us this method, this process of Krishna consciousness so that we can purify our existence, we can come in contact with the Supreme Lord, and we can actually go back home, back to Godhead. That is the goal of this Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada's desire is that everyone in this material world should go back home. That is the concern of the Acharyas. They want every living entity to go back home, back to Godhead. Because material life is very painful, as opposed to spiritual life, which is Ananda Murti Vardhanam, always expanding. Material life is very limited and very painful. I'm coming from a Bhaktivedanta class where we are discussing the Rasa dance. Unit 25, the Rasa dance. And there, it's amazing how the gopis and Krishna, their pleasure is expanding unlimitedly. When the gopis see Krishna, their happiness multiplied 1,000,000 times. When Krishna sees the gopis, his beauty, his bliss, his joy increases so many times. This is life. We want to be happy. We want to enjoy. But we are choosing the wrong path. Sense gratification. Sense gratification is very limited. Our senses have limitation. Even if you are given the best of food, you cannot eat beyond the limit of your stomach. If you eat beyond the limit of your stomach, it becomes a problem. So therefore, going back home, back to Godhead, as proposed by the Acharyas, is the only purpose for our lives, for our living, for joining this movement. We have joined the Hare Krishna movement because we want to get out of this material world and go back home. That is the reason why we have joined this movement. We have not joined this movement for any other reason. So, we need the mercy of the devotees, we need the mercy of the Lord to make progress. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions Sadhu Sangha Krishna Kripa Bhaktirya Swabhava. It says these three things are necessary for making progress in Krishna consciousness. First and foremost, we need the sublime association of devotees. Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means you hear from them, you hear from the devotees, you hear from the saintly people, you discuss with them, you ask questions, you get enlightened, and then you take to the process of Krishna consciousness. Krishna becomes happy to see a conditioned soul, turning his attention away from the material world. So Krishna begins to empower such a soul. As Krishna's mercy, Krishna Kripa comes in. Because without Krishna's mercy, we cannot make progress in Krishna consciousness. Actually, Lord Brahma is praying, Atapite Deva Padambujam Dwaya Prashada Leshanugrihita Evahi. That, my dear Lord, if someone is favored by even a slight trace of your mercy, then it becomes possible for one to make progress in Krishna consciousness. So we want the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in order to get that mercy, we must associate with the devotees. And when we associate with the devotees, we must hear regularly. We must hear constantly. So the Kumaras, they have heard from their father about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But at that time, only the Brahman effulgence, Brahman revelation was revealed to them. They had no clue of the personal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, association gives us the opportunity to hear. And by hearing, we get purified. So therefore, Sutta Goswami says, Yasyam vai suryamanayam Krishna paramapurushe. That simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Krishna sprouts up and extinguishes the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So this is the benefit of associating with devotees. We associate with devotees so that we can hear. And by hearing, we can become purified of all the anarthas we have accumulated over many, many lives. This hearing process is of different levels. There is ordinary hearing, and there is purified hearing. Yasmin Satkarna Piyushe Yashas Tirtha Vare Sakrit. Shrutyan Jalir Opash Prishya Denute Karma Vashanam. Simply by receiving the glories of the Lord through purified transcendental ears, the devotees of the Lord are immediately freed from strong material desires and engagement in fruitive activities. We have such strong attachment to fruitive activities. We have such strong attachment to the material world of fruitive activities. So by purified hearing, these strong desires, one becomes free from these strong desires. Actually, Uddhava in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, speaks about the glory of hearing Krishna's pastimes. He says, Tava vikriditam Krishna nrinam parama mangalam karma piyusham asadya tyajante anyas prisham janaha. Oh, my dear Krishna, your pastimes are supremely auspicious for mankind, and they serve as an intoxicating beverage for the ears. Tasting such pastimes, people forget their desires for other things. Nrinam paramam mangalam karna piyusham asadya. The pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are supremely auspicious for humanity, and such pastimes serve as an intoxicating beverage for the ears. And so, by associating with devotees, we can drink this beverage. And by drinking this beverage, we can experience purification. And this will bring us closer to the Supreme Lord. And Krishna will begin to reveal himself to such a devotee. Actually, Srila Prabhupada mentions that just by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are associating with Krishna, because Krishna and his name are not different. And the more sincerely and attentively we chant the holy names, the more we can feel Krishna's presence in the holy name. And the more we chant this pure name, the more Krishna is with us. Actually, we can feel the presence of Krishna's presence in his holy names if it is properly done. And that is why Mahaprabhu came to give us this beautiful process of Krishna consciousness. So let us take advantage of this process that Krishna has made available in this age of Kali. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Tam Karunanavam Kalu Yoge Asti Gudeyam Bhakti Yena Prakashitam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so kind that he has descended into the material world in this age to give us this process of Krishna consciousness. That's the greatest gift one can receive. But we have to take advantage of it. We have to take advantage of it. Life is very short. We might think we have many more years. But that is the illusion of life. Today I'm here. Tomorrow you hear SRIVAS is gone. It is going to happen. No one is going to escape. It is the surest thing that each and every one of us are going to leave this world at some point in time. So Krishna consciousness is meant to help us get out of this material world. And that is what we should aim at, how to get out of this material world by taking advantage of this Krishna consciousness. And as it is said, Krishna can be seen, no doubt about it. If we follow the right process given by the acharyas, sincerely, with faith and devotion, Krishna will reveal himself to us. And on this note, I will say thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. It's getting late for us here in India. But if there are one or two comments or questions we can try to address so that we can run up the class and take rest. I want to recognize his presence, Mukunda Prabhu. Thank you for being here. Of course, recognize the presence of everyone. I see all the wonderful devotees, Harichakra Prabhu, Govinda Prabhu, all the rest I can see their names. I think I saw Madhuvan Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Comments? If there are no comments, we'll just call it a day. If there are some few
Thank you
comments.
very much, Grace SRIVAS VANACHARI, for the beautiful class, as usual, and the references. We have Mukunda Prabhu's hand up. So Mukunda Prabhu, please kindly unmute.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for being
So
here.
somehow Krishna has given me extreme mercy, because normally my schedule is so crazy. But today I always turn on to listen, and I saw you were speaking, so I'll go on just now.
Hare Krishna.
So, hoping everything is well there with you in India and in Ghana as well, and your whole zone there. So everything is good.
Krishna's mercy, we are still alive at least.
Yeah, that's the first part.
Yes.
But for you, no problem, because even if you're going, then you're going back to Golok Vrindavan, so no problem.
If that is your blessing, accept it. That's what I'm desiring. Thank you.
I was going to tell, there was a very wonderful thing, because one time I was studying Sanskrit language more seriously. Now I find it's very difficult, so much grammar, everything. But I think it was Pujapat Gorgovind Maharaj, when I was visiting once, he was telling the story of Dhruva Maharaj in a synopsis by the names in the history of Dhruva Maharaj. So we mentioned that first, we should understand that Uttam Pada means feet, like we know. Uttam means up. So he's saying a person whose feet is up and whose head is down is a person whose priorities are reversed in life.
That's right.
Therefore, he had attraction to material enjoyment in the form of the wife named Su Ruchi, means taste in material enjoyment. His better half, Su Niti means good instruction. So he didn't have as much attraction to her offspring, who's Dhruva. Dhruva means one who is completely determined in life, which is the whole mission of human life. He said, but by Suniti's good instruction and even the cruel words of Suruchi, which is material energy, which always chastises us, he was able to go to the forest where he met Narada. So Narada means Nara Varam Dadati Iti Narada. Nara means humankind. Varam means the best. Dadati means to give. That person who gives the best thing to humankind, he is called Narada. So he said in a synopsis where I was like shocked. He told in a whole synopsis of the names, the whole purport of Dhruva Charit. It was very wonderful, very beautiful.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Haribol.
Any other comment or question before we round up?
Yeah, Sadi Prabhu's hand is up. Sadi Prabhu, please can you unmute and raise your hand?
Well, Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Pastor
Hare
Sarway.
Krishna, Sadhya Prabhu.
And Mukunda Prabhu, thank you so much for being here. It's always an honor to have your association. I have a question. Well, so you don't have much time, but since Mukunda Prabhu said something about Dhruva Maharaj, I have a question about the Dhruva Maharaj.
Okay.
That is, our acharyas tell us that Narada Muni is the spiritual master of Dhruva Maharaj. For us trying to be devotees, we wholeheartedly accept everything the scriptures say. But I am thinking in my own crazy mind, how do I explain these pastimes, some of these pastimes, to non-devotees for them to accept that these are real incidences that took place and they are not just mythology?
Okay.
How does a 5-year-old boy, Dhruva Maharaj, go to the forest and attempt performing tapasya? And how does Narada Muni become his spiritual master to test him? How did that relationship come about? I do not know how Dhruva was looking for a spiritual master, and Narada Muni came and accepted him as a disciple. I don't know how that came about. So if you may share with us how Dhruva Maharaj, at such a tender age, had that determination, as the name Dhruva indicates, to go to the forest to seek out Lord Narayan, and then Narada Muni coming to tell him not to do that because his age is too tender. In order for Narada Muni to tell him that, we say that he was testing his disciple. The Guru was testing his disciple. How did Dhruva Maharaj become his disciple? Please help.
Thank you. I will say something. Mukunda Prabhu is here. He can elaborate more. But the fact is, when Dhruva, at that tender age, got offended by his stepmother Suruchi, in fact, it is explained that actually Uttanapad's failure to react to what Suruchi said pained Dhruva Maharaj the more, because Dhruva Maharaj wanted to climb onto the lap of his father Uttanapad, and Suruchi dragged him down, pulled him down, and said that he is not qualified to sit on the king's lap. And if he desired to sit on the king's lap, because the king was sitting on the throne, which means he also wanted to sit on the throne, he has to die, enter her womb, and come out as her son. Only then will he be qualified to sit on the king's lap on the throne. And so when he was dragged down, at least Dhruva Maharaj was thinking the father would have said something. But the Uttanapad, because he was a henpecked husband, he could not say anything against the wife. He kept quiet. And so Dhruva took it very seriously that his father has actually neglected him. So he cried and ran to the mother. And he told the mother that I want a kingdom greater than my father's and even greater than my grandfather's. Swayambhu Vamanu is Dhruva's grandfather, and Dhruva Maharaj wanted a kingdom greater than that also. So where can I get that? How can I fulfill the desire? And Suniti, being a saintly woman, wise woman, he said, then only Lord Vishnu can give you this benediction, nobody else. And Dhruva said, so where do I find the Lord Vishnu? He said, sages go to the forest to meditate. That's where they meet Lord Vishnu. You cannot meet Lord Vishnu here. And because Dhruva he felt so offended by the actions of his stepmother and the father not responding or even saying anything, despite his age, he felt very offended. And so he took off. Now the news has spread. He said that the news has spread. Whatever happened in the palace, the news has spread. How Suruchi had dragged Dhruva down from their father's lap, and Uttanapa did not respond. And Dhruva cried and went to his mother, and the mother advised him to meet Lord Vishnu. The news have spread. Just like the case of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj did not invite Shukadeva Goswami to come and speak Srimad Bhagavatam to him. When he was cursed to die in 7 days, and the king left his kingdom and was ready to prepare for death, the news spread all over the whole universe. Of course, those days they have no mobile phones and internet and all this stuff, but they had other means of spreading the news. They have other means of communications. So news spread, and people even came from different planets to witness the passing of Parikshit Maharaj. So similarly, when Dhruva Maharaj left his mother's house, palace, at that tender age of 5, and was moving to the forest, Narada had heard the news. And so Narada intercepted him. And there was a discussion. Narada said, you are too young, go back. This business of seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not for children. 5-year-old boy, go back. And Dhruva, he said, look, we are Kshatriyas, and we don't take such things lightly. My ego is hurt, and whatever it takes me, I'm ready to face it. So if you want to help me, Narada, please help me. But if you do not, leave me alone. So Narada came in when he heard the story of Dhruva, and he crossed Dhruva on the way and tried to persuade him to go back, but Dhruva was not ready to go back. So when Narada saw that this small boy is so determined to go to the forest to execute tapasya in order to attract Lord Vishnu, then Narada gave him the mantra, then he told him where to go, he gave him the process, and Dhruva went his way. So Narada he is not an ordinary person, he is Trikalagya. He is Trikalagya. He knows past, present, and future. He knows what is going on in different parts of the universe. So it shouldn't be surprising for Narada to know that Dhruva was on the way to the forest because he wanted to meet Lord Vishnu. Narada could understand that from his transcendental vision, and therefore he went to help Dhruva Maharaj. But first, before he helped him, he wanted to test to see whether he was actually ready to go on such a journey. And when he tested him, he passed the test. So the acharyas say that Dhruva was tested. Narada tested to see whether he really meant what he was saying, and he passed the test. And therefore, Narada gave him the mantra, told him to go to Madhuvan, showed him the process, and within 6 months, Dhruva Maharaj was able to attract the attention of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what the scripture tells us. As I said, Mukunda Prabhu is here. He can elaborate more on this subject matter.
Prabhuji, already what you told, I think, is perfect. But also, always whenever we're preaching to anyone, it'll always be audience specific. So
Okay.
if there's someone whom we don't think can digest certain things which are written in our scriptures, then we'll probably have to dovetail our preaching to what's appropriate to that audience. So that's how the maximum benefit will be for them. If somebody has a little more ability to hear, one example could be that this took place in a different age in which the development was different. So a 5-year-old Kshatriya boy at that time would be fearless. They would probably be trained by that time in something. And Srivas Prabhu, his great Srivas Prabhu made a very good point. It wasn't that it was unknown in the palace grounds that he left because he was the prominent son of the king. So I heard also once that all the soldiers had gone out to seek him out, to bring back news to his mother and to Uttampad that he was safe. So actually there were many soldiers which were also kind of guarding and so forth and so on. They weren't visible to Dhruva Maharaj because he was so absorbed in his goal, but they were bringing back information to him that he's in this place in Madhuvan, he is safe there. And then as he mentioned, Sri Narada Muni himself came, met Dhruva Maharaj, and not only that, but the super soul, just like in the case of Prahalad Maharaj, he was also only 5 years old, small boy. But the Antaryami, the super soul, is also always protecting those who are seeking him. So there are many lessons here. And also, if it's a question of maturation, we can see even in our relative experience here, sometimes you'll see a 5-year-old, 6-year-old boy who has incredible talents in some particular area. You understand? So it's not always that every 5-year-old or every 6-year-old or whatever it might be is exactly the same. But the main point here, Prabhuji already told, and the other thing is, of course, we'll always preach according to what a person can digest. To tell somebody that the creator of the planet has 4 heads, and so it may not be digestible, or that God is blue, it may not be digestible. So we have to speak Adhikar specific. Jai Hari Bol.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Hare Krishna, thank you both. But one thing I think I'm still not very clear about is I'm trying to want to know when our acharyas say that Dhruva is a disciple of Narada Muni, and as such, sometimes the guru tests the disciple. So Narada Muni was testing the disciple. I'm trying to figure out at what point do our acharyas state that Dhruva became the disciple of Narada Muni? Because from the story and the pastime, as you both are sharing here, when Dhruva had the determination and went to the forest, then Narada Muni approached him. So, is it from a previous life experience that Dhruva was a disciple to Narada Muni, so he just came to continue, or in that particular lifetime that Dhruva became a disciple of Narada Muni? And at what point? We don't hear of fire yagya performed to give initiation. We know we have Siksha gurus also, so Narada Muni giving instructions is also a guru, but I'm just trying to figure out at what point that Dhruva became a disciple for Narada to test him.
Hare Krishna. So again, let me just present a little. I can say, you see, the guru-disciple relationship must begin from somewhere, whether in this life or in a previous life, but there must be a beginning point. So I've not come across any information that this relationship between Narada and Dhruva happened in a previous existence. I've not come across that. If somebody has that information, he can share. But Narada is known for his great preaching. Narada is known for his great compassion. Narada is known for his all-inclusive approach. He's the spiritual master of a snake. How he initiated a snake to become a disciple, we can go into that. He's a spiritual master of Mrigari the hunter. He's a spiritual master of Prahlad Maharaj, even in the womb. Prahlad Maharaj was initiated in the womb. So he's a very amazing preacher. Amazing preacher. And because he has some Shakti, he has some realization, some energy, devotional Bhakti Shakti, he is able to penetrate the covering. He is able to effect the spiritual touch that brings about spiritual development. So there is no fire yagya, there is no ceremony, but the mere fact that Narada met Dhruva and had a discussion with him and gave him instructions, and he followed those instructions and got such wonderful results. It is conclusive enough to say that he had accepted him as a disciple and he had given him instructions, and as a result of those instructions, Dhruva achieved success. So it means when Dhruva left home and was going to the forest, Narada heard about it, and he had some compassion. That little boy is leaving his mother's care, is leaving his father's care, he's going into the forest to go and meditate. Let me see what I can do to help him. So he had that compassion in his heart. And so when he learned of the situation, he went there immediately. And as Bhukunta Prabhu said, Kshatriyas, those days, it doesn't matter whether they're little boys or big boys, or The Kshatriya spirit is actually, he mentioned that when Narada said he should go back, he said, we as Kshatriyas, we don't take things like this lightly. Yeah. So as a Kshatriya, the blood of a Kshatriya is in him. And so even though he was such a young boy, but he was very determined. And so Narada, being a universal guru, he immediately felt that this soul needed his assistance. And so he connected with him and then helped him. But before he helped him, he wanted to see how determined he was. And that is why he said, you are too young, go back home. When you're old enough, then you can come back. He wanted to see whether he could persuade him to go back. But when he saw that this boy was very determined to achieve what he wanted to achieve, then he felt, all right, he's ready for the job. He's ready to go for it. Let me help him. So there is no specific moment that is mentioned. There is no specific ceremony that is described. But just coming in touch with the spiritual master and getting instructions from him, we understand the connection is done.
Well, thank you so much. Since Mukunda Prabhu
has something to add.
Mukunda Prabhu, please, before you add something to what has been already shared, I think Govinda Prabhu has a continuation or something, so he may ask, so you can answer both together. Govinda Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maharaj. Please kindly accept my respectful obeisances. Glories to you, glories to the assembled devotees,
Glories
glory to
also.
Srila Prabhupada, and thank you very much. Thank you for very inspiring, sweet Krishna Katha that you have provided to us.
I wish it was sweeter.
As always.
Hare
yes, actually. Was very, very touching, especially when we were talking about human life is very short, and we can all, anybody can live at any time. So therefore, we have to be ready. Very, very inspiring. Thank you very much. And yes, Sadhu Prabhu, it's like you were reading my mind. It's a continuation to Sadhu Prabhu's question.
It's a mistake, you don't know?
Yeah, I know. Sadhu is a mistake. You see, take home word today from you is that of determination. That's what I'm taking home today.
Okay.
The story of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and the yogi who was claiming to be God, Farooq, and that Bhaktivinoda Thakur will have to chastise him and to expose him for him to know, and everybody to know that he was not God.
Yeah.
So when he approached, Bhaktivinoda Thakur as carrying his books, tantras, and he saw him, he said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I know why you are here, but you will not be successful. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, well, since you know why I'm here, then you should understand that I'll be successful. And so Narada Muni is a Trikalagrian. He knows past, present, and future. So when he was testing Dhruva Maharaj, since he knows past, present, and future, then he should also know that Dhruva will pass the test.
Yep. Certainly.
So then why still testing him?
Good. Nice
Interesting
question.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Govinda Prabhu, for that question. And I will add one follow-up question to that so that it can be comprehensive. Maybe probably we'll use that as the last question if there are no more ants, because I know it's very late where you are. And then maybe if Mukunda Prabhu will be more kind to us, he can stay a little bit longer to help us.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, okay, you still have something to say?
Yeah. That was one of my questions. I have about 3 questions, but
Oh wow.
this is one. And the second question, maybe I will make it very brief so that Maharaj will help us. See, the soul is made of 3 elements. Sachit Ananda is full of bliss, knowledge, and eternity. So when the soul come in contact with these physical realms and the material energies, then his nature is like covered. So that is where my question is. So the mango seed has all the properties, the qualities of mango, even though it is in a sealing form, but the properties are all there. Likewise, the other fruits. So even though the soul is covered with the material energies, the body is made of 8 elements, 5 gross and 3 subtle, and the soul is within the subtle body. But we do dream. We leave the physical body and we go with the subtle body. So within that subtle body, where the soul has all his properties of bliss and knowledge and everything, is the soul experiencing its nature within the subtle form? Is the soul still experiencing his nature of bliss? Knowledge? Is the soul seeing Krishna? Is the soul seeing spiritual world? Because it's supposed to be transcendental. So that is the second question. If you can help, please.
Well,
in answering that question, Prabhu, I just wanted to add this because I don't want it to be extended. Sadev asked a question, and while you answer, and I want Mukunda Prabhu to also help with this. He asked a very crucial question about the timing of Dhruva's initiation, and that makes me to start thinking, what is the role or significance of fire sacrifices in Diksha or initiation? Because when we talk about initiation, it's a broad language, but we also know that there are initiations that are given. Srila Prabhupada was not physically there. He just give the mantras, or sometimes he just send the bead. And this is getting me to ask that question. So what is the significance of the Yifta Yagya that we do at the initiation, and what role does it play? And in relations to initiation. So maybe you understand my question.
Well,
go ahead, Budi.
you can speak.
Yeah, so the first question was, when did Dhruva become a disciple of Nard? It's written in the Bhagavatam itself. When he gave him the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, he gave him mantra initiation. So that's clear in the Bhagavatam. So the fire sacrifice is part of a Pancharatrik process. And historically it's been used, but it is not absolutely necessary to validate the mantras. So if the mantra is coming from, like, we don't read that Ishwarapuri performed a yajna when he gave the mantra to Mahaprabhu. Similarly, when Lakshmipati Tirtha gave mantras to Nityananda Prabhu, we don't see that there was any homa, no fire sacrifice. So the mantra is the actual initiation. And if you look up fire sacrifices, they come in a book of sanskars. The word sanskar means to make an impression. So the fire sacrifice and the vows are to make an impression in the aspiring devotee that these vows I'm taking in front of the witness of the fire, etc., will be, something that I'll dedicate myself to. But the yajna itself has no effect on the mantra, because the mantra is given by a pure person. The mantras have efficacy, which leads into the second part, that Srila Prabhupada, because of his stature of purity, he can give mantra, because some people used to make some controversy about this, but Prabhupada had the ability to give mantra by phone, to give mantra by tape, and so forth. And because he was empowered by Bhagavan, particularly for this mission, those kind of adjustments could be made, and the efficacy of the mantra was not lost. So the mantra itself, and for Harinam, even though in our society we do a yajna, again, it's to create an impression. Because Mahaprabhu told, Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Savashaktis, Tartapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala. There's no niyam, no rule or regulation around Harinam. So these things are just to help us to have an impression in the heart. But the mantras, when they're given by a pure Vaishnav, the mantra is the initiation. So Dhruva received Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That was his initiation.
Yeah, I would like to add that Srila Prabhupada, when he inaugurated the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan in 1975, he invited the Goswamis to do the yagya for the installation, and then he asked the disciples to just perform kirtan. So after the ceremony, in Prabhupada's room, he told the disciples that actually the installation was done by chanting the mantras. That the yagya is just to impress the public, especially in Vrindavan, that if he didn't bring the Brijabasis, the Goswamis, to participate in the ceremony, the Brijabasis will look down on ISKCON. They will say it's a foreign temple, foreign yagya, whatever. But Prabhupada told the disciples that the chanting, the kirtan that they did was a real installation and not the yagyas. So devotees were surprised to hear that.
Thank you very much, actually.
And then also his sannyas initiation. When Srila Prabhupada was taking sannyas initiation from Bhakti Pragya.
Bhakti Pragya and Keshav Maharaj.
That's right. That was in Mathura.
Yeah,
The
Mathura
yagya was going on, and then there was brahmacharis were doing kirtan. So his sannyas guru was signaling the brahmacharis to slow down the mantra, the chanting. Prabhupada was giving the opposite options. While the Guru Maharaj is telling the disciples to slow down the mantra, Prabhupada was saying they should chant more. So, and the devotees, I think they like to chant, so they increase the chanting. And then later on, Prabhupada was explaining to them that the Maha Mantra, the chanting of the Kirtan, is a real yagya. So I just wanted to add this.
Thank you so much.
But Maharaj, you see, again, when we do this chanting of mantras, there are so many personalities that are evoked in the form of their names. So these personalities, do they come to help the devotee taking the initiation in his commitment to the process of his spiritual development? Do they come to assist the individuals who is that this sacrifice is being done on his behalf? Do they come to help the person?
You can answer him.
Actually, all power is coming from Guru. Even the demigods, remember, it's mentioned about Guru, Sava Deva Mayo Guru. My Guru Dev is the embodiment of all the devatas. So no need for all demigods to come give it. Only they're invited to come to offer some blessing, but we're not so concerned for that, because the mercy of Guru is our everything. So the yagya again is performed, SRIVAS told very wonderfully. The yagya is really performed for the benefit of others, and sometimes it's performed just to make an impression in the heart of the aspirant. But really, the mercy that's given by Guru at the time of our initiation, especially the mantras that are given, that's all directly it's called Kripa Shakti of Guru. Because at that time, the devotee has no power of their own. So the Guru is subsidizing the ability of the aspirant to advance by the Kripa Shakti. This is the meaning of the word bhajana kriya. So the word kriya here has two meanings. One is your activities is surrender, and the other is the power coming from Bhagavan to Guru Parampara to your Guru to subsidize your ability to actually advance. That's why in Saranagati, only the first two things are done by the jiva. Anukuyasya sankalpa, to do what's favorable, pratikulyasya vivajanam. The next four lines of the verse say, Rakshishati Vishwas Goptave Varanam Tata. So it means now I'm dependent on God and Guru, right, to protect my devotion and to maintain it. But what I will do is do what's favorable and avoid what's unfavorable. That's the only power in the jiva. Then Guru is giving the power that everything else can happen. That's why we're singing Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasado Yasya Prasada Nagati Kuropi.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This is beautiful. And like Sadif would say, this is so creamy, this is so sweet. And it's like we shouldn't stop. We should just continue like this. And sometimes we imagine how Maharaj Parikshit could hear the Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days, 7 nights without eating, without sleeping. And we can feel this idea of what was going on when we hear this kathas being spoken in this level. And that is the importance of the senior Vaishnavas coming together to give their realizations like this on our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Arishakra Prabhu, we will allow you, maybe I have already said before.
Don't forget Salika Prabhu. My two questions
what I'm
still not
considering is
answered.
this. I know you still have a question, but I'm considering
the questions are asked already before you top it with your question. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. So because I'm looking at the time now, it is
10:30.
it is about 11 o'clock, 10:30 now in India, and probably to go rest to come for Mangalati tomorrow morning. So I'm being conscious of that. Arishakra Prabhu, we will ask, we'll allow you make it very brief to the point so that Prabhu can respond to you. Then we'll wrap it up, and then we can stay after that if devotees still want to have a sangha. Arishakra Prabhu, please can you unmute?
No, Hare Krishna. Dandava Pranam. All glories to you, Prabhu, and all glories to the assembled devotees. And all glories to Mukunda Prabhu. My question is a follow-up of Sadh's question. Even when you were talking, it looks as if you answered my question, but later on, another thing was said, and it brought me back. No, I have to ask this question. So my question is, we know Narada is a Mahajan, and Dhruv, what do we call it? Prahlad is also a Mahajan. Now, Prahlad Maharaj advises that we should take up devotional service at a very tender age. I mean, we don't have to waste time at all. Now, if Narada is also advising somebody that you are too small, you don't have to be, then are they contradicting each other or what?
Well, I think the fact is, you see, just again, Mukunda Prabhu said, the audience, we have to look at the audience. When we are preaching, the message has to rhyme with the audience. So Prahlad Maharaj was preaching to his classmates who are young boys. They are in a school and he's preaching to them. So therefore, he has to emphasize the importance of accepting devotional service at a tender age. And of course, Prahlad Maharaj, he gained this knowledge right from the womb of his mother. So, because the audience are young people, he is impressing upon them that they should take advantage of devotional service at that age. Now, as different scenario is witnessed between Dhruva and Narada. Narada is telling him that his age is tender and he's going into the forest where there are wild animals, where there is a lot of difficulty. He's going to give up the association of his father and mother, the shelter of his father and mother, and he's going to stay alone in the forest. It requires some maturity. In the case of Prahlad, they are at home, they are in school, they are not going to the forest. So he's telling them that, my dear friends, let us start Krishna consciousness now. So the circumstances are different, or the audiences are different. So we have to preach according to time, place, and circumstance. And the message has to be tailored to suit the audience so that we can achieve the objective, the targeted result. So I will say that the scenarios are different, the situations are different, and that is why one is telling his mates to take to Krishna consciousness at a tender age, and in the other situation, Dhruva is being told that he's too young to go to the forest to perform all these austerities. He's too young for that, and so he should go back home. And when he's mature enough, he can come back. So there are two different scenarios, and so according to time, place, and circumstance, the message was different. That is my little understanding. Mukunda Prabhu can.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I don't have anything. You said was perfect. I only have one more deep request. First, I'm asking my wife to finish the offering for me so I can stay on. The other one is that you'll come to visit us here in Alachua. I don't know how your travel schedule is, but I'm praying maybe you'll have some time to come to the States and certainly come to Alachua. My guest room is here for you. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I want to mention.
Thank you for your invitation. We'll try.
Thank you very much. I'm Sadhuta Prabhu. Deeply sorry. I know if you allow
Govinda's questions are not answered. I don't want Govinda Prabhu to take me to tax. Some questions, and you said they are not answered.
Maharaj, thank you very much for visiting my question again. I was going to attack Salika Prabhu, and then he will have to give me a love of God there today. Otherwise, I won't let him go. But since you are going to help me answer those questions, then I will kindly add, because Salika Prabhu has tried to pull me. And so since I'm being released, then I'll put the last question on top of the two, that how do we develop determination? Since that's the key to this conversation today. How do we develop this determination?
Now, can you refresh your questions? Can you remind me on the first two questions?
Yeah, the first two questions, I'll make it brief. The first one was, since Narada know past, present, and future, and he was sure, he was aware that Dhruva will pass the test, why did he still have the testing?
Very good.
Yes. And in attached to that, the question again come in there that how do we know? Because we are like the situation of we are the same situation of Dhruva. How do we know that our Guru Maharaj is testing us in different situations, different circumstances? How do we determine this thing coming to me is a test coming from my Guru Maharaj, and
Thank you.
I have to pass it?
Thank you. And then the determination. So 3 questions. Yeah, in the first situation, I'm losing my direction. How did, you see, I get it.
If Narada knew that he
yeah,
was going to
I
fail,
got it.
he was going to pass,
Why is he asking the question? Yeah, I got it.
Why is he still testing him?
Why is he
Since
still
he believes
testing
that
him?
he will pass.
Yes. So you see, sometimes these pastimes are not just done for that specific occasion or specific disciple. Certain decisions are taken, certain pastimes are enacted, certain instructions are given for the benefit of the larger audience. So even though Narada, he could understand that Dhruva will definitely pass the test, but he still conducted that test so that it will be recorded for future generations to learn from it. Now, if Narada did not ask Dhruva this question and it wasn't included in the discussion, probably today you and me will not be talking about this. But because he added it, it has become a subject matter of discussion. And so me and you can speak about it, think about it, meditate on it, and see how best we can use that situation, that circumstance to advance our own progress in Krishna consciousness. So certain instructions, certain decisions are sometimes given not for the immediate situation, but for a future reference. So Narada understood, but he still made that possible so that in the future we can discuss it. It's like even this Bhagavad Gita, I have come across some comment. VANACHARI says that Arjuna did not need Bhagavad Gita because Arjuna is a constant companion of Krishna. And Arjuna has heard Bhagavad Gita a number of times. Srila Prabhupada said that if Krishna went to the sun planet to speak Bhagavad Gita to the sun god, what prevented Krishna from going to the moon planet to speak to the moon god? And what prevented Krishna from going to Varuna Loka to speak of Varuna also? So Prabhupada said, Krishna must have gone to different places and spoken Bhagavad Gita to different people. And Arjuna was present anytime Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. But Krishna was thinking about the devotees in Kali Yuga. Krishna came in Dwarapa Yuga and he was leaving. So Krishna wanted to leave a message for the devotees in Kali Yuga. So therefore, even though Arjuna is conversant with Bhagavad Gita, Krishna put him under illusion, Yogmaya, so that he would seek advice from Krishna, he would take the position of a disciple, and Krishna would get a chance to speak Bhagavad Gita. And as a result, today we have Bhagavad Gita. So sometimes these pastimes, they are conducted for future references, for the benefit of populations yet to come. And for determination, you asked me how to develop determination. I will simply say, the first, we have to identify somebody who has determination, associate with the person, see how he's developing or practicing his determination. We can also read stories like Dhruva Maharaj. There are many stories in the scriptures describing different devotees, how they had succeeded in their path of determination. And so, by associating with those devotees, whether physically or scripturally, we can become inspired to develop determination. This is the little I can say, but Mukunda Prabhu is here, he can always correct.
Yeah, Maharaj, can you please also touch how can we know if our Guru Maharaj is testing us?
Okay, yeah, that
Different
is
situations.
yeah, that is a very tricky question. But what I will say is that we should always see every challenge that comes our way. We should see it as Guru Maharaj's testing, Krishna's testing. Anytime we come across some difficult situation, some serious challenge, we should understand Krishna wants us to cross a certain hurdle. Guru Maharaj wants us to cross a certain hurdle. And I remember Guru Maharaj says, when there is a challenge and we're able to surpass it, we make a lot of advancement. So any challenge that we encounter in our spiritual life, it should be viewed as a test from Guru, a test from Krishna. And so we have to pray to Guru and Krishna to help us rise above that test, to help us pass that challenge. So that is what I can say, that anytime we encounter any trouble, just think, Guru Maharaj is testing me and I must pass this test. And in this way, we will be safe. We will always think of Guru Maharaj's mercy, think of Krishna's mercy, and we would make some progress step by step. Prabhu Mukunda, I think I will end here. My time is far gone. So if you have some other things to say, thank you very much.
No. What you said was perfectly, Prabhuji. I mean, I was thinking, just looking at everybody, that my heart sometimes becomes so moved because I see the fruits of, all the devotees there in Africa, how advanced they've all become. And I'm thinking, wow, this is Mahaprabhu's mercy.
It's your mercy.
No.
It's your mercy.
mercy of Bhakti Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu. So, and it's also to give me some encouragement. Really, it makes my heart so touched, seeing this. Now this is
for me,
something years old.
As a person, you played a very significant role in my becoming a devotee. I don't think if you were not in Ghana at that particular time, encouraging me, you used to, when I come for Sunday program, you drop me at Kalibu. If I didn't have that encouragement, I don't think I would have continued to do what I'm doing now. And I remember that yourself and Siki Maiti, you had planned to send me to Nigeria because you wanted me to surrender to full time.
Yeah.
And so it was Krishna's arrangement that I had a passport, and they wanted a devotee who had a passport to accompany Siki Maiti to Nigeria. And I was the only one with a passport. And so at the background, you had planned to send me to Nigeria, even though it was just go for a week or two, bring books back. I went and never came back.
Never came back. No, because also something was there also that because there was some, you don't maybe remember or know, but there was some upsetness about that because we wanted you to come back to Ghana. You understand? And when they saw your qualities, everything, they think, oh no, we keep him here in Nigeria. So sometimes there was some discussion about that, you know.
I see. Anyway, you play a very significant role in my spiritual life, and I'm always grateful for that.
Thank you so much.
Maybe I'm repaying favor because in last life, you also brought me to Bhakti. We don't know these things.
I'm not sure of that.
Thank you so much, SRIVAS VANACHARI. Thank you so much, Prabhu. We're so grateful, and we encourage other senior devotees in the West African region to also always give us this kind of an association. When Mukunda Prabhu was answering question earlier, he was talking when he was defining Bhajana Kriya. He was giving the two meaning of Kriya, and I was reflecting on that. And when you are answering how to become determined, and I think that is one big thing I'm taking away from here. You mentioned something very significant, that once you look for those persons, and it is in line with what all the acharyas have said, who are actually having that same quality, and that is what we are doing here. We're hearing from realized devotees who themselves have practiced this for several years. Thank you so much. We cannot thank you enough for being here and giving us this association. So on this note, we want to continue because Bhagavatam, we cannot be exhausted. But then, because of time, place, and circumstances that we find ourselves in, we'll have to cut it a day now and then to resume back again tomorrow. So on this note, appreciating our great speaker today, Mukunda Prabhu, for joining on this call today to give us his association. I'm going to be requesting all of the devotees to please kindly unmute. Let us loudly chant a powerful Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to appreciate our speaker today and all of the Vaishnava devotees gathered here. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare
His Grace SRIVAS VANACHARI Prabhu ki Jai. Grace Mukunda Prabhu ki Jai. This come from the Acharyas, Divine Grace Laisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagagushi Prabhu Bari ki Jai. Our glory is to assemble devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Also, devotees, I'm praying, all of you, please give me a mercy to go on serving Guru and Gauranga. Please, I'm begging this thing only.